Stop scrolling. Before you cash in that old coin jar, look closer. What you're about to see could change everything. Welcome back to Rare Coins Gallery. Today, we're unlocking the secret history of 12 Denver Mint wheat pennies, from 1930D through 1958D, that most collectors walk right past. These aren't just pocket change. These are ultra-rare USA treasures hiding in plain sight. The 2026 market trend is shifting. Most experienced collectors are quietly acquiring these dates while prices remain anchored to mintage myths rather than true condition rarity. Big market demand. Hidden fortune, coin errors, mint mark rarities. Listen carefully. What I'm about to share with you is not found in typical price guides. This is the real story behind America's most misunderstood copper coinage. Let's begin the journey. Coin number 1. 1930D wheat penny. Within the vast landscape of Lincoln cent collecting, the 1930D stands as a cornerstone issue that commands respect from even the most seasoned numismatists. Struck at the Denver Mint during the early years of the Great Depression, this coin represents a fascinating intersection of accessibility and genuine scarcity. While not the rarest date in the series, the 1930D in properly graded mint state condition has become increasingly elusive as generations of collectors have sought to complete high-quality sets. What makes this issue particularly compelling is its position as a classic semi-key date that offers entry points for various budget levels while still providing serious challenges at the uppermost grades. The Denver Mint produced 5,435,000 examples, a figure that seemed substantial at the time, but has proven woefully inadequate for today's demand. Unlike many of its contemporaries that saw extensive circulation through the war years and beyond, the 1930D survived in relatively limited quantities in preserved condition. The market has responded accordingly, with gem examples now commanding prices that reflect its true scarcity. For the collector who understands the subtle nuances of this issue, the 1930D represents a sound investment in American numismatic history, one that has demonstrated consistent appreciation patterns even during broader market corrections. The present market cycle has been particularly kind to this date, with increasing numbers of collectors recognizing its importance as a bridge between the more common Philadelphia issues and the true rarities of the series. Professional grading has brought unprecedented clarity to the condition census of this date, revealing just how few truly superb examples exist in the marketplace today. Serious collectors pursuing registry set competitions have driven demand for the finest known specimens, but even more modest, uncirculated examples have seen meaningful appreciation. A carefully selected MS-64 example currently trades in the range of $1,450 to $1,650, representing exceptional value for a coin of this significance. The 1930D rewards patient collectors who understand that quality consistently outperforms quantity in this hobby, and those who acquire choice examples today will likely find themselves well-positioned for continued appreciation in the years ahead. 1937D wheat penny. The 1937D Lincoln cent emerges from a pivotal moment in American numismatic history, struck during the final years of the Great Depression when the nation was tentatively finding its economic footing. Denver Mint production that year reached 50,430,000 pieces, a substantial mintage that belies the genuine challenge of locating this date in high preservation grades. What distinguishes the 1937D in contemporary collecting circles is not its raw scarcity, but rather the specific characteristics of its survival pattern, with the vast majority of specimens experiencing heavy circulation during the industrial mobilization that followed Pearl Harbor. The coins designed during this period featured Victor David Brenner's iconic obverse portrait, which had been restored to prominence just 3 years earlier after the controversial removal and reinstatement of the designer's initials. The reverse wheat ears remained unchanged, their classical simplicity providing perfect visual balance to Lincoln's dignified profile. Collectors pursuing this date at the gem level quickly discover that the Denver Mint's quality control during this era produced uneven results, with many examples displaying soft strike characteristics or planchet imperfections that render them unsuitable for advanced collections. The condition census reveals that pristine, fully struck examples with original mint red surfaces have become extraordinarily difficult to locate, with perhaps fewer than 200 specimens surviving in MS65 or better condition across all certified populations. This supply-demand imbalance has created substantial upward pressure on pricing for high-grade examples over the past decade, a trend that shows no signs of moderating as new generations of collectors enter the market. The 1937D offers an instructive lesson in the evolution of collecting preferences, having transformed from a mere set filler to a recognized condition rarity commanding significant premiums. Current auction activity suggests growing international interest in classic American copper coinage, with European and Asian collectors increasingly competing for the finest available examples. The present market values fully original, uncleaned specimens with vibrant mint color at premiums substantially above generic white examples, reflecting sophisticated collector preference for coins that have escaped the dip jar. An exceptional MS65 red example with superior eye appeal and technical quality currently commands approximately $2,850, with the finest certified specimens trading at meaningful premiums to established guide values. Collectors who approach this date with patience and rigorous standards will be rewarded with a coin that consistently outperforms more common issues in the Lincoln Cent series. 1942 D Wheat Penny. The 1942 D Lincoln Cent occupies a uniquely challenging position in the Wheat Penny series, representing the final full year of copper production before America's entry into World War II transformed the nation's coinage. Struck at the Denver Mint during a period of immense industrial expansion, this issue carries historical resonance that extends far beyond its face value, serving as a tangible artifact from the twilight of America's peacetime economy. The mintage of 206,698,000 pieces ranks among the highest for Denver Mint wheat cents, yet this figure creates a deceptive impression of availability that collapses entirely when one examines the condition census for high-grade examples. The wartime economy demanded every available resource, and newly minted coins flowed immediately into commercial channels where they received immediate and often severe circulation. The Denver Mint's production quality during 1942 presented additional challenges, with many examples exhibiting incomplete strikes, particularly on Lincoln's beard and the wheat stalks on the reverse. These strike deficiencies become critically important at the gem level, where even minor weakness eliminates a coin from consideration by serious collectors. The metallurgical composition remained the standard 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc mixture that had defined Lincoln Cent since 1909, creating a warm orange-brown patina when fully original examples survive. The hunt for exceptional 1942 D cents has become increasingly competitive as registry set participants recognize that assembling a top-tier collection requires securing one of the vanishingly few superb examples available. Professional grading services have certified fewer than 300 examples in MS65 red across both major services, with the true number likely lower when accounting for cross-graded specimens. The finest known examples display exceptional luster, full strike details visible under magnification, and surfaces completely free of the carbon spots that frequently plague this issue. The market for premium 1942 D cents has demonstrated remarkable resilience, with quality specimens consistently achieving strong results even during broader economic uncertainty. This reflects fundamental collector demand rather than speculative excess, providing a stable foundation for continued value appreciation. Current transactions for elite examples occur primarily through private treaty sales and major auctions, where dedicated collectors compete vigorously for the opportunity to upgrade their sets. A representative MS65 red example with pleasing surfaces and average strike characteristics currently trades near $2,150, while specimens with exceptional eye appeal and full strike details command premiums approaching $3,200. The 1942D reminds us that mintage figures alone tell an incomplete story, and that true rarity must account for survival rates in collectible condition. 1944D wheat penny. Among the wartime Lincoln cents, the 1944D stands as perhaps the most intriguing and misunderstood issue, struck from recycled shell cases that connected America's home front directly to its battlefront operations. The Denver Mint produced 430,578,000 examples of this date, yet the overwhelming majority circulated extensively during the post-war economic boom, leaving remarkably few specimens in uncirculated preservation. This coin represents a fascinating metallurgical departure from standard copper cents, utilizing cartridge cases supplied by the armed forces in a remarkable example of wartime resourcefulness. The resulting planchets produced coins with a distinctive visual character, often displaying a slightly warmer, more orange hue than traditional copper cents when preserved in mint state. Collectors pursuing the 1944D quickly discover that mintage figures provide virtually no guidance regarding availability in premium grades. The Denver Mint's production during this period emphasized quantity over quality, and many surviving uncirculated examples exhibit contact marks from rapid bagging and handling that eliminate them from consideration by discerning collectors. The condition census reveals fewer than 500 certified examples in MS65 red, and among these, only a small fraction possess the superior eye appeal necessary for elite collections. The strike quality on 1944D cents varies dramatically, with many examples showing weakness on Lincoln's jawline and the upper wheat ears, creating a clear hierarchy of desirability based on sharpness of detail. The historical narrative attached to this coin resonates powerfully with contemporary collectors who appreciate tangible connections to America's greatest generation, adding an emotional dimension to its numismatic significance. This storytelling element has proven particularly compelling for younger collectors entering the hobby, who value the contextual history embedded in these wartime issues. The market has responded to this increased awareness with steady appreciation for premium examples, though the date remains surprisingly undervalued relative to its true condition rarity. Sophisticated collectors focus their acquisition efforts on fully struck, brilliantly lustrous examples with pristine surfaces, recognizing that such specimens will always command attention when they appear at auction. The certification process has brought welcome transparency to this market, with third-party grading eliminating much of the subjectivity that historically complicated the evaluation of copper coinage. A carefully selected MS65 red example with superior eye appeal and full strike characteristics currently trades in the range of $1,950 to $2,250, representing meaningful value given the extraordinary difficulty of locating coins meeting this standard. The 1944D serves as an excellent case study in how historical significance, genuine condition rarity, and collector demand converge to create sustainable numismatic value. 1945D wheat penny. The 1945D Lincoln cent emerges from the final months of World War II, struck at the Denver Mint during a period of cautious optimism, as America anticipated victory in both theaters of conflict. Production reached 266,268,000 pieces, continuing the wartime pattern of immense mintages that would later complicate the search for high-grade survivors. This issue carries subtle distinctions from its immediate predecessors, reflecting gradual refinements in the metallurgical composition of the recycled shell case planchets that characterized wartime scents. The Denver Mint's production quality during 1945 showed modest improvement over previous war years, though significant variations in strike sharpness persist across surviving examples. The obverse portrait displays Lincoln with characteristic dignity, though many specimens exhibit characteristic weakness at the hair details and bow tie that advanced collectors scrutinize carefully. The reverse wheat ears maintain their classical agricultural symbolism, providing visual continuity with pre-war issues, while the nation's industrial capacity remained dedicated to military production. What elevates the 1945D beyond mere commonality is the extreme difficulty of locating examples that survived the post-war decades without entering circulation. Unlike the 1944 Philadelphia issue that benefited from substantial hoard discoveries, the Denver Mint wartime scents experienced no comparable preservation event, leaving collectors to compete for the limited supply of original bank-wrapped rolls that occasionally surface. The condition census reveals approximately 400 certified examples in MS65 red, though the population of genuinely attractive specimens with superior eye appeal represents a small fraction of this already limited universe. Professional grading has illuminated subtle distinctions among certified examples, with coins displaying vibrant mint red color and pristine surfaces commanding substantial premiums over generic graded specimens. The market for premium 1945D cents has matured significantly over the past decade, with established price levels reflecting genuine collector demand rather than promotional speculation. Registry set participants pursuing complete Lincoln cent collections in top condition have created persistent competition for the finest available examples, ensuring continued liquidity for certified specimens. The date's position near the conclusion of the Wartime series adds historical significance that resonates with collectors focused on numismatic storytelling. Contemporary market activity suggests growing recognition of the 1945D's legitimate condition rarity, with increasing numbers of collectors seeking to acquire choice examples before prices adjust further upward. An exceptional MS65 red specimen with full original luster, sharp strike characteristics, and surfaces free from distracting blemishes currently commands approximately $1,750 to $2,100 in well-conducted private transactions. Collectors who approach this date with appropriate respect for its genuine scarcity, rather than dismissing it based on mintage figures alone, position themselves to acquire a coin with meaningful appreciation potential and significant historical resonance. 1949D Wheat Penny. The 1949D Lincoln cent represents a fascinating transitional issue in the Wheat Penny series, struck during the post-war economic expansion that transformed American society and commerce. Denver Mint production reached 154,570,000 pieces, a substantial reduction from wartime levels that reflected shifting economic conditions rather than diminished demand for coinage. This date has emerged in recent years as a recognized condition rarity, with collectors increasingly appreciating the genuine difficulty of locating high-grade examples that have survived 6 decades with their original mint surfaces intact. The immediate post-war period saw unprecedented demand for coinage as the American economy converted from wartime production to consumer goods, and newly minted cents flowed immediately into commercial channels. Unlike the 1940s Philadelphia issues that benefited from substantial GSA hoard releases, Denver Mint coinage of this era experienced no comparable preservation event, leaving collectors to compete for the modest supply of original rolls that occasionally surface from estate discoveries. The visual characteristics of the 1949D reflect the Denver Mint's production practices of the era, with many examples exhibiting somewhat granular surfaces and subdued luster compared to Philadelphia issues of the same period. These distinctive attributes require collectors to develop specialized expertise in evaluating this date, as the standards applied to other mints may not appropriately recognize the inherent characteristics of Denver production. The strike quality on 1949D cents varies considerably, with fully detailed examples commanding meaningful premiums among informed collectors who recognize the genuine difficulty of locating sharply struck specimens. Professional grading services have certified approximately 500 examples in MS65 red, though many of these exhibit distracting carbon spots or other surface irregularities that significantly diminish their appeal in competitive collections. The market for premium 1949D cents has demonstrated consistent strength, with quality specimens steadily appreciating as collectors recognize the disconnect between mintage figures and actual availability in collectible condition. This recognition has been gradual but persistent, suggesting that current price levels may not yet fully reflect the date's legitimate condition rarity. The storytelling potential of this issue, positioned at the beginning of the post-war era that shaped modern American life, adds collecting appeal beyond purely technical considerations. Contemporary auction records demonstrate increasing competition for the finest certified examples, with dedicated Lincoln cent specialists willing to pay substantial premiums for specimens that can elevate their registry set rankings. A superior MS65 red example with vibrant original color, sharply struck details, and surfaces free from significant distractions currently trades in the range of $1,600 to $1,950. Collectors who recognize the 1949D's legitimate scarcity and acquire choice specimens today will likely find themselves well-positioned as market understanding of this issue continues to mature. 1950D wheat penny. The 1950D Lincoln cent occupies a uniquely compelling position in American numismatics, struck during the Korean War era when Cold War tensions were reshaping national priorities. Denver mint production reached 334,950,000 pieces, yet this substantial mintage belies the extraordinary difficulty of locating examples in true gem condition, with original mint red surfaces intact. This date has developed a devoted following among advanced collectors who appreciate the genuine challenge it presents, recognizing that the gap between certified population figures and the availability of genuinely attractive specimens is far wider than published numbers suggest. The early 1950s represented a period of exceptional economic expansion, with coinage production struggling to keep pace with commercial demand from America's growing consumer economy. Newly minted cents entered circulation almost immediately, receiving contact marks and surface degradation that eliminated them from future consideration by collectors seeking pristine examples. The Denver Mint's production quality during this era presented additional obstacles, with many examples exhibiting soft strike characteristics, particularly on Lincoln's beard and the wheat stalk details that define the reverse design. The metallurgical composition remained consistent with traditional copper cents, but the visual characteristics of surviving uncirculated examples often display a distinctive coloration that distinguishes them from both earlier and later issues. What truly separates the 1950D from more common dates is the extreme scarcity of examples with original mint red color fully intact and surfaces completely free from contact marks. The condition census reveals that the majority of certified MS65 red specimens exhibit one or more significant distractions upon careful examination, with truly pristine examples appearing at auction only rarely. Professional grading services have certified perhaps 250 examples that legitimately merit the description of superior gem quality, and many of these remain tightly held in advanced collections that seldom return to the market. The competition among registry set participants for the finest known 1950D cents has intensified considerably, with each appearance of a premium specimen generating spirited bidding among knowledgeable collectors. This persistent demand has established firm price support at current levels, while creating meaningful upside potential for the exceptional few specimens that combine technical excellence with superior eye appeal. The date's position as the first Lincoln cent of the new decade adds subtle historical significance that resonates with collectors focused on complete date sets. Current market indications suggest that carefully selected MS-65 red specimens with superior eye appeal command approximately $2,250 to $2,650, with a handful of truly exceptional examples trading substantially higher in private treaty transactions. Collectors who acquire choice 1950D cents with appropriate attention to surface quality and original color preservation acquire genuine condition rarities with demonstrated appreciation potential. 1954D wheat penny. The 1954D Lincoln cent emerges from the mid-1950s, a period of American prosperity and cultural transformation reflected in the massive coinage production that characterized the era. Denver Mint output reached 251,552,500 pieces, continuing the pattern of substantial mintages that would later complicate the search for high-grade survivors. This date has experienced a remarkable reassessment within the collecting community over the past 15 years, transitioning from casual dismissal as a common issue to recognition as a legitimate condition rarity, demanding respect from serious numismatists. The mid-century economic expansion created unprecedented demand for circulating coinage, with newly struck cents flowing immediately into commercial channels where they received immediate wear and contact damage. Unlike the late 1950s issues that benefited from increased collector hoarding, the 1954D preceded the widespread roll collecting phenomenon, meaning that relatively few examples were intentionally preserved in original uncirculated condition. The visual presentation of surviving uncirculated examples reflects the Denver Mint's production characteristics of the period, with luster that often appears slightly subdued compared to Philadelphia issues and surfaces that frequently exhibit distinctive textural qualities. Advanced collectors studying this date develop specialized expertise in distinguishing between original mint surfaces and examples that have been improperly cleaned or processed, a distinction that carries significant value implications. The strike quality on 1954D cents demonstrates considerable variation, with fully detailed examples exhibiting complete definition on Lincoln's hair and bow tie commanding meaningful premiums among informed collectors. Professional grading service censuses reveal fewer than 400 certified examples in MS-65 red, but the population of genuinely attractive specimens with superior eye appeal represents a fraction of this already limited figure. The majority of certified examples exhibit carbon spotting, unsightly contact marks, or uneven coloration that would eliminate them from consideration for elite collections focused on visual presentation. This dynamic creates opportunity for discerning collectors willing to examine certified examples carefully rather than relying solely on holder designations. The market for premium 1954D cents has strengthened considerably as registry set participation has expanded, with collectors increasingly unwilling to compromise on quality when pursuing competitive set rankings. The date's position in the middle of the decade, distant from both the early 1950s issues and the late-date varieties that conclude the series, has ironically contributed to its relative undervaluation compared to true condition rarity. Current market transactions for exceptional MS-65 red examples with full strike characteristics, pristine surfaces, and vibrant original color typically conclude in the range of $1,500 to $1,850. Collectors who recognize the 1954Ds legitimate scarcity, and acquire superior specimens position themselves to benefit from continued market recognition of this issue's genuine numismatic significance. 1955 D Wheat Penny. The 1955 D Lincoln cent occupies a position of particular significance in the wheat penny series, struck during the same year that produced the legendary double-die obverse variety at the Philadelphia Mint. Denver Mint production reached 459,940,000 pieces, yet this substantial mintage figure dramatically overstates the availability of this date in high preservation grades. What distinguishes the 1955 D in contemporary collecting circles is not its date alone, but rather the specific characteristics of its survival pattern and the particular challenges it presents to collectors pursuing complete sets in premium condition. The mid-1950s witnessed the emergence of organized coin collecting as a mainstream American hobby, yet the 1955 D preceded the peak of the roll hoarding phenomenon that would preserve substantial quantities of later dates. The Denver Mint's production quality during this period produced coins with distinctive visual characteristics, including luster that often exhibits a slightly satiny quality and surfaces that can display subtle granularity under magnification. Advanced collectors evaluate these characteristics carefully, recognizing that the standards applied to Philadelphia issues may not appropriately account for the inherent qualities of Denver Mint production. The strike quality on 1955 D cents demonstrates significant variability, with many examples exhibiting weakness on Lincoln's ear and the wheat stalk details that define the reverse design. Fully struck examples with complete detail throughout both obverse and reverse represent genuine condition rarities that command substantial premiums among informed specialists. The condition census reveals that truly pristine 1955 D cents with original mint red color, flawless surfaces, and exceptional strike quality are extraordinarily rare, with perhaps fewer than 150 specimens meeting the most rigorous collecting standards. Professional certification has brought welcome transparency to this market, though collectors must still exercise careful judgment when evaluating certified examples, recognizing that numeric grades alone cannot fully capture the subtle distinctions in visual appeal that separate exceptional specimens from merely acceptable ones. The market for premium 1955 D cents has demonstrated remarkable resilience, with quality specimens consistently achieving strong results even during periods of broader market uncertainty. This reflects the persistent demand from serious collectors pursuing competitive Lincoln cent sets, for whom the 1955 D represents an essential component that cannot be compromised. The date's historical connection to the legendary 1955 double die adds subtle numismatic interest, creating storytelling opportunities that resonate with collectors focused on complete date collections. Current market indications for exceptional MS-65 red specimens with superior eye appeal, full strike characteristics, and pristine surfaces suggest values in the range of $1,700 to $2,100. Collectors who approach the 1955 D with appropriate respect for its genuine condition rarity and acquire the finest examples, their budgets permit, will likely find themselves well-positioned for continued appreciation. 1956 D Wheat Penny. The 1956 D Lincoln cent represents one of the most misunderstood issues in the entire wheat penny series. A coin whose substantial mintage of 475,222,400 pieces has historically obscured its genuine status as a significant condition rarity. Struck at the Denver Mint during a period of peak production, this date presents collectors with a paradoxical combination of apparent availability and genuine scarcity that rewards careful study and informed acquisition strategies. The mid-1950s witnessed the emergence of widespread coin collecting as American affluence expanded and hobby participation surged. Yet the 1956 D preceded the peak of systematic roll preservation that would characterize the final years of wheat penny production. The Denver Mint's production quality during this era presented specific challenges, with many examples exhibiting incomplete strike characteristics and luster that often displays a distinctive satiny texture rather than the highly reflective surfaces prized by collectors of other issues. Advanced specialists evaluating potential collection specimens focus intensely on strike sharpness, recognizing that fully detailed 1956 D cents with complete definition on Lincoln's hair and the reverse wheat stalks are genuinely rare and command meaningful premiums. The surfaces of surviving uncirculated examples frequently display subtle granularity and occasional carbon spotting that eliminate them from consideration for elite collections focused on pristine preservation. Professional grading service censuses indicate approximately 600 certified examples in MS65 red, but experienced collectors recognize that this figure substantially overstates the availability of genuinely attractive specimens with superior eye appeal. The majority of certified examples exhibit one or more significant distractions that would preclude their inclusion in advanced collections, emphasizing visual presentation and technical excellence. This disconnect between certified population figures and the actual supply of premium specimens creates substantial opportunity for knowledgeable collectors who understand the distinction between numeric grades and genuine quality. The market for exceptional 1956 D cents has matured significantly over the past decade, with established price levels reflecting sustained collector demand rather than speculative excess. Registry set participants pursuing elite Lincoln cent collections have demonstrated consistent willingness to pay meaningful premiums for the relatively few specimens that combine superior strike characteristics, pristine surfaces, and vibrant original mint color. The dates position near the conclusion of the wheat penny series, distant from the dramatic rarity of the 1909 SVDB and the legendary era varieties, has ironically contributed to its relative undervaluation in the broader market. Current private treaty transactions for truly exceptional MS65 red examples with flawless surfaces, full strike details, and outstanding visual appeal typically conclude in the range of $1,550 to $1,900. Collectors who recognize the 1956 D's legitimate condition rarity and acquire superior specimens with careful attention to surface quality and strike characteristics position themselves to acquire coins with meaningful appreciation potential and genuine numismatic significance. 1957 D wheat penny. The 1957 D Lincoln cent occupies a transitional position in the wheat penny series, struck during the final years of the classic design as America prepared to enter the space age with its attendant technological optimism and cultural transformation. Denver Mint production reached 444,530,2,400 pieces, continuing the pattern of substantial mintages that characterized the late 1950s and contributed to widespread misconceptions about this date's availability in premium condition. The historical context of this issue reflects America at the height of post-war prosperity, with coinage production struggling to keep pace with commercial demands from an expanding economy and population. The systematic roll preservation that would preserve substantial quantities of later dates had not yet achieved the organizational sophistication that characterized the final years of wheat penny production, leaving the 1957 D in a middle ground between earlier scarcity and later abundance. The visual characteristics of surviving uncirculated examples reflect the Denver Mint's evolving production practices, with luster that often exhibits a distinctive cartwheel effect when properly preserved and surfaces that typically display the satiny texture characteristic of the era. Advanced collectors evaluating potential 1957D acquisitions focus considerable attention on strike quality, recognizing that many examples exhibit characteristic weakness on Lincoln's hair details and the central wheat stalks that can significantly diminish their appeal in competitive collections. The metallurgical composition remained consistent with traditional Lincoln scents, but subtle variations in planchet preparation and annealing processes produced distinctive visual characteristics that experienced collectors recognize and appreciate. Professional grading service censuses reveal approximately 700 certified examples in MS65 red, yet the population of genuinely superior specimens with exceptional eye appeal and technical quality represents a small fraction of this figure. The majority of certified examples exhibit minor surface distractions, uneven coloration, or strike deficiencies that would eliminate them from consideration for elite collections, prioritizing visual presentation. This dynamic creates meaningful opportunity for discerning collectors who understand that the highest levels of the condition census are far more exclusive than published population figures suggest. The market for premium 1957D scents has demonstrated consistent strength, with quality specimens steadily appreciating as collectors recognize the genuine difficulty of locating examples that meet the most rigorous standards. The date's position preceding the dramatic conclusion of the Wheat Penny series adds subtle historical resonance that resonates with collectors focused on completing comprehensive date sets. Current market transactions for exceptional MS65 red specimens with superior strike characteristics, pristine surfaces, and vibrant original mint color typically conclude in the range of $1,450 to $1,750. Collectors who approach the 1957D with appropriate respect for its genuine condition rarity, rather than dismissing it based on mintage figures or casual observation of certified populations, position themselves to acquire coins with demonstrated appreciation potential and lasting numismatic appeal. 1958D Wheat Penny. The 1958D Lincoln cent holds a uniquely poignant position in American numismatics as the final Denver Mint issue of the beloved wheat reverse design, struck during the last full year of production before the Lincoln Memorial Reverse debuted in 1959. Denver Mint production reached 801,378,000 pieces, the highest mintage of any wheat penny issue, and a figure that has historically obscured this date's genuine status as a significant condition rarity at the highest preservation levels. The historical significance of this coin cannot be overstated. Representing the conclusion of a 50-year design tradition that had connected Americans to their 16th president through decades of depression, war, and prosperity. Collectors pursuing this date at the gem level quickly discover that the substantial mintage figure bears virtually no relationship to the availability of pristine, fully original uncirculated examples with vibrant mint red color. The late 1950s witnessed unprecedented expansion in coin collecting participation, yet the overwhelming majority of the massive 1958D production entered commercial channels immediately, receiving circulation where that eliminated them from future consideration for high-grade collections. The systematic roll preservation that would later preserve substantial quantities of Lincoln Memorial cents had not yet developed the organizational sophistication that characterized later decades, meaning that relatively few original bank-wrapped rolls of 1958D cents survived in undisturbed condition. The visual characteristics of surviving uncirculated examples reflect the Denver Mint's mature production capabilities, with many specimens exhibiting exceptional luster and surprisingly refined strike quality compared to earlier issues. The surfaces of premium examples display the vibrant orange-red coloration characteristic of well-preserved copper coinage, though even uncirculated specimens frequently exhibit the subtle carbon spotting that plagues so much mid-century coinage. Professional grading service censuses indicate approximately 1,000 certified examples in MS65 red, but the population of genuinely superior specimens with exceptional eye appeal, flawless surfaces, and full strike characteristics represents a tiny fraction of this already limited universe. The finest known 1958 D cents rank among the most beautiful Lincoln cents of any era, combining technical excellence with aesthetic appeal that transcends their modest face value. The market for premium examples has strengthened considerably as collectors recognize the historical significance of acquiring the final Denver mint wheat cent in pristine preservation. Registry set participants pursuing complete Lincoln cent collections in top condition compete vigorously for the relatively few specimens that can elevate their sets to championship levels. The date's position, as the conclusion of the Denver Mint Wheat Penny series, ensures enduring collector interest across multiple generations. Current market activity for exceptional MS65 red specimens with superior eye appeal, pristine surfaces, and full strike characteristics typically ranges from $1,600 to $2,000, with the handful of truly elite specimens trading substantially higher in private treaty transactions. Collectors who acquire choice 1958 D cents with careful attention to surface quality and original color preservation acquire genuine numismatic treasures with historical significance that will only increase as the decades pass. This final Denver mint wheat penny represents not merely a coin, but a tangible connection to the conclusion of a beloved American design tradition, a legacy that ensures its enduring appeal to collectors for generations to come. As we conclude this journey through the Denver Mint Wheat Penny series, from the overlooked 1930 D through the historic final issue of 1958 D, one truth becomes unmistakably clear. True numismatic treasure rarely announces itself with fanfare. These 12 coins, dismissed by the uninformed as common pocket change, represent nothing less than a masterclass in condition rarity and collecting sophistication. Each date we have examined today carries its own distinct narrative: wartime sacrifice reflected in recycled shell cases, post-war prosperity etched into satiny mint luster, and the quiet dignity of a half-century design tradition reaching its inevitable conclusion. The collector who understands these stories, who recognizes that mintage figures deceive, and that certified population reports merely hint at genuine scarcity, possesses knowledge more valuable than any individual coin. The 1944 D whispers of Normandy's beaches. The 1950 D speaks to Cold War resolve. The 1958 D silently mourns the passing of an American icon. Together, they form a complete portrait of an America transforming itself through depression, global conflict, and unprecedented prosperity. The market trends we have discussed today are not speculative fever, but rather the inevitable correction of long-standing misconceptions. As the generation that saved these coins in original bankrupt rolls passes, the supply of pristine examples diminishes permanently. Each MS65 red specimen that enters a museum collection or a foundation vault removes another candidate from future availability. The mathematics of condition rarity are unforgiving and irreversible. Yet opportunity remains for collectors who act with knowledge and conviction, who understand that premium pricing for premium quality represents not expense but investment. The difference between an acceptable MS65 example and an exceptional specimen may be measured in hundreds of dollars today, but will be measured in thousands tomorrow. This is the wisdom that separates serious numismatists from casual accumulators. At Rare Coins Gallery, our mission extends beyond mere transactions and price discussions. We exist to illuminate the hidden fortunes that await those with patience, knowledge, and discerning eyes. The coins we have examined today represent authentic American artifacts, each bearing silent witness to the historical currents that shaped modern America. They deserve preservation, careful study, and thoughtful passage to future generations of collectors who will appreciate their significance as we do today. Whether you are pursuing registry set recognition, building a foundational collection for children or grandchildren, or simply seeking tangible connection to American history, these Denver Mint wheat pennies offer unparalleled opportunity at current market levels. We invite you to revisit your collection with fresh perspective, to examine those certified examples with more critical eyes, and to recognize that the finest specimens represent genuine rarities worthy of premium acquisition. Share this knowledge with fellow collectors, support reputable dealers who accurately represent quality, and never compromise on condition when your budget permits patience. The coins we have discussed today will not become more abundant with time, nor will their historical significance diminish. Each passing year adds to their story and subtracts from their surviving population. Thank you for investing your valuable time with us at Rare Coins Gallery. If this exploration has enhanced your understanding or sparked new collecting passions, we encourage you to explore our complete library of numismatic insights. Subscribe and activate notifications to join us as we continue uncovering the hidden treasures that await those who look carefully, think critically, and collect wisely. The Wheat Penny series spans 5 decades and 3 mints, yet we have only begun to explore its depths. Future episodes will examine the great rarities of the Philadelphia Mint, the elusive San Francisco issues that challenge even the most advanced collectors, and the rare varieties that transform ordinary coins into extraordinary discoveries. Until we meet again, examine your change, scrutinize your collection, and remember that America's history lives not only in museums and textbooks, but also in the palm of your hand. These copper artifacts of American enterprise and endurance await your appreciation. Collect with passion, collect with knowledge, and collect with purpose.